All right, Derby fans, welcome back to the Hall of Dames. I am Old Greg. Are you ready for more hard-hitting action? Oh, come on now. Y'all can do better than that for the second battle tonight. Are you ready for more hard-hitting Derby action? You are back at Arizona's only live bank track roller derby here at the Hall of Dames.
And I'm Kills Bill. We saw a great first game. Now get ready to feature part 2, featuring the Brutal Beauties in pink and the deadly Coffin Draggers. Just a reminder, no whistling is allowed as it interrupts gameplay. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and everything else outside the track for your safety. And with that being said, let's get the action started.
Starting things off, we'd like to introduce the Brutal Beauties. Skating tonight for the Brutal Beauties, number 92, Alpha Gunna Dekia. Number 2011, Colette Razorcat. Number 244, Damn It, Jam It. Number 925, Evil Twin. Number 9, MK3, Gypsy Danger. Number 011, Hitori Hanzo. Number 602, Lady McDeath. Number 351, Lethal. Number 22, Impaler Swift. Number 750, Bodily Harm. Number 501, Anita Margarita. Number 11, Slaughtermelon. Number 2323, your co-captain, Quiver Phoenix. And number 2187, your captain of the Brutal Beauties, Princess Leia. Helping the team on the bench tonight, our bench coach, Reverend Knuckleface, and penalty manager, Dolly Spartan. Not skating tonight, number 26, Beautiful Trauma. Number 97, Rigamaroo. Number 717, Rocky Horror. And number 123, Snack Attack.
And now introducing the prettiest girls in the morgue, your Coffin Draggers. And skating tonight for the Coffin Draggers, number 1312, Bones. 101, Devil's Advocate. Number 18, Embezzlement. Number 1951, Hellatrix Lestrange. Number 27, Laura Stabs. Number 7, she's the Destroyer. Number 23, Tyranny. Number 217, Vavadoom. Number 1890, Victoria Van Gore. 666, Witchy Woman. 1029 is Reckless Rose. Number 30, Zora La Bruja. 7656, your co-captain of the Coffin Draggers, Zombaby. And number 803, your captain, the Panda Face Killer. Helping the team on their bench tonight, our bench coach, Verdurculus, and penalty manager, Grantula. Not skating tonight, 616, Craven Cadavers, 651, Grace Ventura, and 7780, Moxie Mausoleum.
All right, we are ready to get underway. Your first jammer for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Princess Leia.
That's Devil's Advocate out there on the jammer line for the Draggers. Princess Leia trying to work her way along the bottom of the track. Gets knocked to the infield. Tries the high side. Devil's Advocate pushing out towards the front of the pack. Cuts to the inside. Knocked to the inside by Damn It Jam It. And Princess Leia gets out as your lead jammer. Devil's Advocate got out about a quarter track behind her, though. Princess Leia nears the back of the pack, setting up her scoring pass. Gets knocked to the track and calls off the jam. Princess Leia able to pick up 1 point on that jam. Tyranny coming to the line for the Coffin Draggers.
Jammer for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Hitori Hanzo.
Hitori Hanzo out there. Zombaby holding her off as Tyranny is able to get out to your lead jammer. Tyranny able to jump the apex there, get by the Beauty's line, calls off the jam. Coffin Draggers able to put 4 points on the board, take the lead.
Setting up the jam now for the Coffin Draggers is the Destroyer.
That's Lady Macbeth out there for the Brutal Beauties. Both jammers working their way through the back of the pack. Lady Macbeth works her way out to the front of the pack. Zora La Bruja has to let her go by. And the Destroyer takes the opportunity to get out of the pack on the low side. Lady Macbeth gets to the back of the pack. She's working through her scoring pass. Lady Macbeth picking up 2 points on that jam. As the Beauties are sending Gypsy Danger to the jammer line.
Gypsy Danger's going to be out there all by herself. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Gypsy Danger now out there to do the power jam. Penalty there called on the jammer for the Coffin Draggers in the previous jam, so an early power jam opportunity here. Gypsy Danger looking for an opening along the upper rail. Not able to find it, now down to the low side and able to get to the front of the pack. 36 seconds left on the clock here in the Brutal Beauties power jam.
Reckless Rose able to knock Gypsy Danger off the track twice on that last one, missed on that third pass. Gypsy Danger able to work her way through the pack very fast. Setting up for a second scoring pass. Gypsy Danger taken off the track by the Panda Face Killer, but she's able to get back up, get back on the track. Draggers keeping this pack moving very fast.
Ends up being a 9-point power jam for the Brutal Beauties and is going to send them ahead here in the very early going. Up to the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers is Devil's Advocate. Repositioning themselves. Devil's Advocate still on the jammer line there for the Coffin Draggers.
And it's Princess Leia out there for the Beauties. It's a repeat of the first jam of the evening. Princess Leia gets caught up behind a couple of Coffin Draggers as Devil's Advocate able to get out.
All right, skater back up on their skates. One of the referees took a tumble there coming through the turn, so that led to a stoppage in the action, but it looks like everybody's okay. All right, we are back to the action now, and once again up to the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers is Devil's Advocate.
Anita Margarita out there for the Beauties. Anita Margarita tries the high side up by the rail. Taken into the rail by Witchy Woman. Pushing her way to the front of the pack against Laura Stabs. She got some help up there. Evil Twin was trying to help clear the way for her. Laura Stabs takes her to the infield again.
A lot of action here in the pack as they come in front of us at the announcer's nest. Neither jammer out yet. Anita Margarita closest. Trying to outrun that last blocker to the corner, and both jammers out now. I do see they're sneaking out without the star was Devil's Advocate. Devil's Advocate racing back to the pack, trying to run in and calls it off. I'll state right now for the record, Bill, after a weekend of calling her Hurricane May for about 7 bouts in a row or so, that if I call her Hurricane May once or twice tonight, I must be forgiven.
You'll get a pass on 1 or 2 of those. I look down the track and I see her skating by. I'm like, okay, there goes May. No, that's Devil's Advocate. All right, coming up to the jammer line for the first time, that's Victoria Van Gore out there for the Coffin Draggers.
And it's Lady Macbeth going to be jamming for the Brutal Beauties. No points for either side there.
Draggers skating down 1 blocker on this jam, so it's going to be a pretty tight traffic pattern up there. Victoria Van Gore takes the low side. She gets out first. She's your lead jammer. Van Gore inertia carries her up to the high side.
Lady Macbeth now out of the pack for the Brutal Beauties and is going to try to come around to apply the pressure here. Victoria Van Gore still fighting her way, trying to fight her way through the pack, gets up to call it off.
Just as we were about to call her name out, the Destroyer skating back to the bench.
So it looks like don't look now, but we've got another power jam going to be set up for the Brutal Beauties here. It's going to be Hitori Hanzo, but before we get to that, I can see frantic signaling from the Brutal Beauties bench. We're going to have the Brutal Beauties going to use one of their first half timeouts here. So that'll bring a stop to the action momentarily. That'll give us a chance to remind you about our March charity that we're supporting here with the Derby Dames. Of course, it is February 29th, and we were supporting Circle the City throughout February. We were collecting backpacks tonight. We hope you were able to help us out. But our March charity, we're going to be supporting the fight against cancer, and we're going to be supporting the Irish Run. It's going to be the 10th annual Kilt Lifter Irish Run. And tonight we have a sign-up table outside. You can visit outside for information on signing up and joining Team Derby Dames. You can sign up to run, walk, and support in other ways. And tonight, sign-ups are $5 off if you sign up tonight at the table, so be sure to visit them during halftime here, coming up at the end of the second quarter.
All right, it's looking like some penalties on the board there. Draggers have a full complement of blockers, though, in front of Hitori Hanzo. She's looking to extend the Beauties' lead.
Pack now gets staggered out with a couple of skaters back behind, but Hitori Hanzo blocked off onto the infield by defensive specialist Laura Stabs. Hitori Hanzo now still looking for any kind of an opening along that wall of blockers for the Coffin Draggers. Brutal Beauties also only have 2 blockers of their own trying to run interference here during the power jam. And Hitori Hanzo able to get clear of the pack. They were able to get a defender goaded in behind. 20 seconds to go here in the Brutal Beauties power jam.
Hitori Hanzo knocked to the infield by Tyranny. Reestablishes herself on the track. Draggers trying to run away. Hitori Hanzo calls off that jam. Draggers skated clean. None of their skaters are in the box. Beauties lost 1 skater now in this one.
Beauties are going to send Princess Leia to the jammer line, and she's out and clear of the pack for the Brutal Beauties.
That's Reckless Rose out there for the Coffin Draggers. She gets free in turn 2. She's out there to put the pressure on Princess Leia. Princess Leia gets knocked off the track by Tyranny. Reestablishes herself just in time to call off the jam.
So points for both sides there in a bout that so far has been, points have been at an absolute premium. 4 points for the Beauties, 2 points for the Draggers. Beauties send Evil Twin to the jammer line.
That's the Destroyer back out there for the Coffin Draggers. Destroyer working her way to the top. A lot of skaters down on the track right now. Both jammers keep their feet though. Evil Twin charging to the front of the pack up against Laura Stabs. That's Witchy Woman out there trying to hold the 2 line. Destroyer runs around the outside, and Hitori Hanzo calls to call it off, but the Destroyer had just passed her. The Destroyer calling it off right after that.
So no points for either side, and we will set up for the next jam. It's going to be Lady Macbeth for the Beauties.
That's Victoria Van Gore back out there. Beauty skating down 1 blocker. Victoria Van Gore trying to put a little jammer defense on. She skates around the outside of the track, runs right by the other jammer. Lady Macbeth being held back by Zombaby and Panda Face Killer. They have to let her go by though. Victoria Van Gore hits the back of the pack. Cuts through a couple Beauties, gets knocked to the track and calls off the jam. Draggers able to pick up 3 points on that jam, courtesy of Victoria Van Gore.
Up to the jammer line now for the Beauties is Anita Margarita.
That's Devil's Advocate out there for the Coffin Draggers. Somebody lost a wheel. You might need that. I think that's Devil's Advocate. And Devil's Advocate is your lead jammer. And she's out there missing a wheel.
Devil's Advocate now up to the pack, trying to spin her way through along the infield. Again, Devil's Advocate with a flat tire, climbing back up the track now and calls it off. Just kept going.
3 wheels on 1 skate and 3 points in that jam for Hurricane May, Devil's Advocate. Solid effort out there.
We've got an official timeout, so
we need to find a washer and or a nut.
There, okay, well, literally we just found, it looks like the washer or the nut. That was right there on the.
Got to get that off the track. That's the reason for the official timeout is we don't want anybody tripping over that.
Look for the debris, basically, and make sure we find everything from that blown tire there at the outset.
This is why I spend my Saturday nights at roller derby.
We could have ourselves one of those like cooking competitions type shows where you have to like cook with a skillet that has a hole in it. It's like, all right, now you get a power jam.
That's right.
But you have to skate with 3 wheels on each skate.
Okay, I can do this. I can do this. Do I have both stoppers? All right, though, the Coffin Draggers picked up a handful of penalties on that one. They're skating with 2 blockers right now and a jammer. There's a must skate on one of their skaters.
Your jammer for the Brutal Beauties is Princess Leia.
That's Reckless Rose out there for the Coffin Draggers again.
One blocker sliding out there and one blocker heading off the track.
Rose working her way along the high side. That's Princess Leia on the low side. Princess Leia getting bounced around at the front of the pack there. Reckless Rose tied up behind a 3-wall of Brutal Beauties. But she's able to break free, and she's your lead jammer.
Princess Leia making her way through the pack, makes her way past the defender and out of the pack as well for the Brutal Beauties.
Rose charges up to the high side by the rail. Reckless Rose able to pick up 1 point on that jam.
All right, there was a penalty called on Princess Leia during that jam. However, she's in the penalty box. So it's a Coffin Draggers power jam, and it's going to be Victoria Van Gore at the jammer line for the Draggers, and she'll be looking to take the lead if at all possible. Making her way through the pack, putting the star cover back on is Victoria Van Gore.
Course through the first half of the pack, gets through. The rest of the pack is pushed out of play right now. Van Gore skates along the low side, maintains her speed, coming back around for another scoring pass. And once again, those Brutal Beauties are out of play at the front of the pack, so they have to let Van Gore go by. But she wisely calls off the jam. Not enough time to get back around to the back of the pack. Picking up 15 points on that power jam, though. That puts the Coffin Draggers in the lead.
Coffin Draggers sending the Destroyer to the power line, to the jammer line here, and she is through the pack powerfully.
Lady Macbeth got out as well. Putting the pressure on the Destroyer.
The Destroyer making her way through and calls it off. Four more points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers, extending their lead here and leading into what will most likely be the last jam of the first quarter. Coffin Draggers again sending Reckless Rose to the line.
And that's Gypsy Danger out there for the Brutal Beauties. Reckless Rose gets out on the low side. Gypsy Danger tries to follow her out. Gets knocked off the track, has to reestablish herself. But she's tied up by Tyranny right now. Takes her off the track once again. Rose coming around to start her scoring pass. First point she scores is on that jammer. She gets through. Plenty of time and speed left. Rose calling off that jam as she skates past the last defenders.
So 9 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Then all of a sudden, heading into the quarter break, it's a big flurry of scoring and what had been a defensive struggle up until about the last 2 minutes of the first quarter. Heading ahead here into the quarter break, Coffin Draggers 44, Brutal Beauties 19.
Hey folks, get those raffle tickets back out. We're going back to the orange raffle tickets. Got a couple prizes to give away here. If you're holding orange raffle tickets, 785-697, 785-697, or orange raffle tickets, 785-741, orange raffle tickets, 785-741. You're a winner. Come on down here to the prize booth by the announcer stand. Pick up your prize. Last call on those two raffle tickets. If you got orange raffle tickets, get them out. Take a look at them. 785-741 and 785-697. Make some noise because we're going to give it away to somebody else. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Two more. Here we go. Lucky raffle ticket numbers 785-771. 785-771 and 785-757. 785-757. Come on down.
right, Derby fans. One more time, don't forget about our charity that we're supporting for the month of March. We are supporting the fight against cancer, and we are supporting the Kilt Lifter 10th anniversary kilt run that is going to be on Saturday, March 13th. Saturday, March 13th?
Friday.
Friday, March 13th.
It's a Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
St.
a
Patrick's
Friday.
Day, apparently Friday, March 13th, according to this. At any rate, that's going to be the 10th anniversary kilt run. You can visit www.irishrunaz.com, or outside tonight, we do have a sign-up table. You can get more information on signing up, and if you sign up tonight, it's $5 off if you sign up at their sign-up table, so be sure to visit them during halftime here coming up.
Irish run, huh? I wish I had some whiskey right now. All right, looks like you're coming out of that last jam of the first quarter with a penalty on the Beauties jammer. So we've got a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. And out there to skate this, you've got Hurricane May and all 8 wheels this time. Devil's Advocate, though, hands off the star to Tyranny. Tyranny is your jammer now. Beauty's able to wall up, though, trying to keep the jammer in right now. Coffin Draggers trying to break up that wall. Coffin Draggers slowing this down to a crawl in turn 4 right in front of the announcer stand. Tyranny jumps the apex to get around that block by Jammet. Tyranny able to squat down and squeak through.
$15 points up on the board for Tyranny during the power jam there for the Coffin Draggers after taking over his jammer with the star pass. So, up to the jammer line now for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Anita Margarita.
That's Victoria Van Gore out there for the Coffin Draggers. Smaller pack up there with the penalties. Coffin Draggers fielding 3 blockers. Beauties 2. Victoria Van Gore, though, able to get out directly out of the box. Anita Margarita's trying to work her way through the back of the pack. Pack's picking up speed coming out of turn 2 now. Victoria Van Gore's trying to catch up, pick up some points. Anita Margarita's able to get out. Van Gore sizing her up, seeing if she's got the speed to pick up that last point. As Anita Margarita starts to accelerate, Van Gore calls off the jam.
Four points on the board there for the Coffin Draggers. They're going to send the Destroyer up to the jammer line.
It's Lady Macbeth out there for the Brutal Beauties. Lady Macbeth takes the high side. Comes up on Witchy Woman and Zombaby. Oh, Laura stabs in Witchy Woman. Destroyer able to get out. Lady Macbeth able to push those Coffin Draggers out of play. The Destroyer able to power her way through those blockers.
Looks like 4 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers, but they are going to send down their jammer after a penalty on the Destroyer, so it's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. It's going to be Hitori Hanzo at the jammer line for the Beauties, all by her lonesome.
Coffin Draggers have all their blockers out there, though. Hattori Hanzo skates right up to the pack, tries to get around. Coffin Draggers already have a 3-wall at the front of the pack. Hattori Hanzo getting those Draggers further and further out of the front. Evil Twin out in front trying to get her jammer out, trying to break up the Draggers. Draggers still maintaining a solid wall at the front of the pack. Evil Twin gets knocked to the track, but she's able to emerge in turn 3. Still 17 seconds left on this jam. Coffin Draggers trying to speed it up, but the Beauties are trying to hold Panda Face Killer back, trying to keep that pack slow. Hattori Hanzo gets to the back of the pack. Hits the back of the pack, and that's the end of the jam. Bones out there to skate her first jam of the night.
And jamming for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Princess Leia.
Princess Leia takes the high side and runs out of the pack. Princess Leia racing around the track and racing around the pack. Last-ditch effort by Witchy Woman trying to stop Princess Leia, but Princess Leia keeps on going. Pack slowing down over here in turn 4. Bones being held back by Alpha Gunnadekia, Lethal, and Jam It, Jam It. Princess Leia is certainly in the driver's seat on this jam as she gets knocked to the infield by Devil's Advocate.
And the clock comes to a stop for an official timeout. 10 points on the board there for the Brutal Beauties. All right, Bones back up on her skates and back to the bench under her own power after getting checked on there at the end of the jam. So we'll get back to the action here. Once again, 10 points on the board there for the Brutal Beauties during that jam. So, Birdies. I got midway into the second quarter before I said Birdies tonight. The Brutal Beauties, excuse me, Brutal Beauties trying to cut into that Coffin Draggers lead now. Brutal Beauties are going to send Anita Margarita to the jammer line.
That's Victoria Van Gore out there for the Coffin Draggers. Gore races to the high side. She's trying to get out there. Anita Margarita gets knocked to the infield, gets back up on the track. She's trying to race her way around the outside of the pack right now. Cuts low. One more Coffin Dragger to get by. Zombaby is trying to hold her one last second, but she's able to get out. Pack picking up speed as Victoria Van Gore are trying to fight the Beauties 3-wall. Picked up at least 1 or 2 points on that jam. Calls off the jam.
In fact, it was 2 points for the Coffin Draggers, but for the Coffin Draggers now is going to be a power jam. We've got Devil's Advocate on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers now for the power jam. It looks like otherwise a fairly robust pack. Coffin Draggers have all their blockers. Brutal Beauties Lost one blocker, so the Brutal Beauties 3 blockers out there, so a 1 skater advantage in the pack.
Devil's Advocate coming around, halfway around the track. Jumps the apex in transition, stays on her feet, stays on the track. Devil's Advocate knocked to the infield by Damage Jamit.
So 15 points on the board there for the Coffin Draggers. Big 15-point jam for the Draggers to help them put their lead back up where it was previously. That is going to be Reckless Rose for the Draggers.
Evil Twin out there for the Beauties. Both jammers get out. Evil Twin chasing down Reckless Rose.
All right, now setting up for the next jam, we've got Devil's Advocate for the Coffin Draggers. Jamming for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Princess Leia. Princess Leia now up to the front of the pack and dealing with a 2-wall. Here comes Devil's Advocate, mid-pack, able to go to the high side and emerge. And Devil's Advocate, your lead jammer. Princess Leia trying to fight off Devil's Advocate and prevent her from getting that last point, able to do so. 4 points on the board there for the Coffin Draggers. We had penalties assigned to both jammers there, penalties assessed to both jammers in the previous jam, so it's a double jammer down situation. All the referees signaling that from the infield. So we've got Hitori Hanzo to the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties.
That's Victoria Van Gore out there for the Coffin Draggers again. Knocked to the infield there by Gypsy Danger. Hitori Hanzo gets out as your lead jammer.
Victoria Van Gore now putting that star cover back on and emerging from the pack herself. No points for either side there when it's all said and done. And heading up to the jammer line once again for the Coffin Draggers is going to be Devil's Advocate.
Lady Macbeth out there for the Brutal Beauties. Lady Macbeth charging to the front of the pack. Hurricane May able to dodge around. Excuse me, Devil's Advocate able to dodge around the pack, get out as your lead jammer.
And Devil's Advocate now trying to outrun and get around the corner here, trying to pick up that point. Goes ahead and calls off the jam. 5 points for the Coffin Draggers, so Devil's Advocate was able to get that point at some point during the pass.
Here comes Gypsy Danger out to the track for the Brutal Beauties.
And you're going to have Reckless Rose is out there jamming for the Coffin Draggers. Making her way through the pack is Reckless Rose, and she's your lead jammer for the Coffin Draggers. Gypsy Danger out of the pack as well. Reckless Rose checking around behind and seeing how far. Runs right through a block. Reckless Rose able to get through the corner. Good defensive strategy there, but Reckless Rose powering through the block for the Coffin Draggers. We're going to have an official timeout before we move forward. So, official timeout, we'd like to let you know about some of our league sponsors, such as Arcadia Health and Wellness. They're providing chiropractic care, physical therapy, corrective exercise, and massage therapy. Dr. Matt and Dr. Dom are chiropractors sure to meet your needs. Visit them at Arcadia Health and Wellness, located on 35th Street and Indian School in Arcadia. Mention the Derby Dames to get a discounted rate on your initial visit.
Hey, have you seen the amazing team signs here in the warehouse? Above and Beyond Pallet Creations takes pallets and gives them a second life. For more information or to commission work, see Bobby Ross, the coach of the Schoolyard Scrappers. You can also look up Above and Beyond Pallet Creations on Facebook.
Phoenix Motor Leathers is the premier motorcycle rider's dream shop for all your riding gear. This leather shop has been in Mesa for over 20 years and has over 900 vests in stock, 500 leather jackets, boots, chaps, gloves, helmets, leather bags. Phoenix Motor Leathers has patch sewing and leather repair and alteration. Stop by Phoenix Motor Leathers for all your motorcycle apparel and accessories. They're here tonight by the food truck, and they're sewing on AZ Derby Dames patches purchased from our merchandise booth to your favorite garment at a discounted rate.
All right, back to the Derby action, guys. Coming to the line for the Coffin Draggers, that's Tyranny.
And up to the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Princess Leia.
Tyranny takes the low road. Princess Leia tries a little bit of jammer defense, try to knock her to the infield. She's not, but Princess Leia is able to get out on the backside of the track. Tyranny's your lead jammer, though, about a quarter track in front of her. Tyranny able to call that jam off as she comes in for a landing.
So 4 more points for the Coffin Draggers, pushes them up over 100 for the bout. 103-32 the score right now. Victoria Van Gorda, the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers.
That's Anita Margarita out there for the Brutal Beauties. Anita Margarita charging along the high side up by the rail. She gets out. She's your lead jammer. Victoria Van Gorda still working her way through the pack. Takes a star pass. Gives the Reckless Rose as your Panda Face Killer. Panda Face Killer is now your jammer for the Coffin Draggers. Anita Margarita makes her way through the pack, falls to the track, but able to get up and call off that jam. Picks up 4 points for her team.
All right, setting up for what could be the last jam of the first half, depending. We'll have to see how it goes here. We've got Devil's Advocate on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers.
And that's looks like Lady Macbeth out there for the Beauties.
All right, very small pack out there, just 2 blockers for both sides.
Devil's Advocate gets out as your lead jammer.
Devil's Advocate threading her way through the pack and completing a scoring pass. 30 seconds left on the jam clock. Quarter clock is going to expire, so that'll take us to halftime. Lady Macbeth to the front of the pack, still dealing with Laura Stabs, trying to find an opening. Laura Stabs spins her down off onto the infield. All right, checking on the scoring, and Devil's Advocate able to finish off a second scoring pass. So 10 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers, and your score right now, Coffin Draggers 113, Brutal Beauties 36.
Get out those raffle tickets again. It's raffle ticket time. Orange raffle ticket number 785-835, 785-835. Come on down and collect your prize.
Your attention, please. Will the Coffin Draggers please return to their bench? Will the Coffin Draggers please return to their bench? Panda wants you. Thank you.
All right, Derby fans coming back into the second half of this game. Just a reminder, regular raffle tickets are going to be coming to a close at the end of the third period here, so get your raffle tickets now. We're going to be giving away that Lost Dutchman tattoo gift certificate at the end of this quarter. So before the fourth quarter starts, you'll have yourself a free tattoo.
All right, we are ready to begin the second half now that everybody is here and accounted for. Victoria Van Gore for the Coffin Draggers.
It's Princess Leia out there for the Brutal Beauties. She gets out first, taking the low road. She's your lead jammer. Van Gore working her way through the back of the pack right now, trying to charge up to the front. She gets out after turn 2, getting by Dammit Jammit. Princess Leia coming in for her scoring pass. Draggers trying to speed this pack up.
Princess Leia finishing off the scoring pass, picking up her points, and calls off the jam.
Here comes Reckless Rose out there to the track for the Coffin Draggers. Satori Hanzo out there for the Brutal Beauties. Reckless Rose gets out there. She's your lead jammer right now.
Hitori Hanzo guided down to the infield by that defense for the Draggers. Now up mid-pack trying to find her way through. Reckless Rose is mid-pack on a scoring pass, trying to get through as well.
Reckless Rose dodging a last-minute attempt to block her by Evil Twin. Reckless Rose out there in the middle of the track all by her lonesome, setting up for her second scoring pass. So Hitori Hanzo gets out on the back straightaway.
7 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers now sending a first-time jammer up there. That's going to be Hellatrix Lestrange.
Let's Lady Macbeth taking the low road right there for the Brutal Beauties. Strange charging up to the front, ends up giving the star off to Tyranny. Tyranny's your lead jammer right now. Lady Macbeth caught at the back of the pack behind the Panda Face Killer and Zombaby. Tyranny knocked to the track by the rail. Lady Macbeth gets out, and Tyranny calls off the jam.
All right, 4 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers there, and then they're going to send Bones to the jammer line.
It's Gypsy Danger out there for the Beauties.
Both jammers battling high and low, trying to find their way through. Gypsy Danger's trying to get through on the inside and then knocked off onto the infield. Now around the high side goes Gypsy Danger, and she's going to be out of the pack. Your lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. And completing a scoring pass and now heading around again is going to be Gypsy Danger for the Brutal Beauties with 13 seconds left on the jam clock. Stars pass forward to Devil's Advocate. Taking over as jammer for the Coffin Draggers. Gypsy Danger gets through the pack, finishing a second scoring pass. 9 points for the Brutal Beauties. Beauties are going to send Princess Leia up to the jammer line.
Draggers are sending out Victoria Van Gore to skate this jam. Van Gore and Slaya trying the same high side. Van Gore passes that star off to Tierney, but not before Princess Leia gets out as your lead jammer. Princess Leia able to call off that jam before the Draggers picked up any points.
And we're going to have an official timeout before we move forward with the game action.
Hey folks, be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dame snack bar to grab a cold beverage, some chips, or some candy for that sweet tooth. All the proceeds go back to the league to keep us rolling. That's the AZDD snack bar over here. Go pay those ladies a visit.
We'd like to let you know about SkaterCon 2020. That's going to be at Paradise Valley Skate Park next Saturday, March 7th. Saturday, March 7th marks the 5th annual Phoenix SkaterCon, a multi-dimensional celebration of skateboarding and the rich culture that surrounds it. Check out the Derby Dames booth, talk with skaters, eat at the food trucks, and check out the live music with meet and greets, contests, and legends of skating. You don't want to miss it. That's next weekend at Paradise Valley Skate Park. All right, after discussion, officials are ready to get back to the action. So once again, Anita Margarita for the Brutal Beauties and the Destroyer for the Coffin Draggers.
Anita Margarita charging on the high side, but the Destroyer is able to get out in front of her, though.
Destroyer out, your lead jammer now going to try to catch up to the pack here and see what she can do as far as a scoring pass. Gets fought up to the high side and goes ahead and calls off the jam. And Des able to put 2 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers and calls it off in time to prevent Anita Margarita from scoring any points. So next up to the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers is Reckless Rose.
That's Lady Macbeth out there for the Beauties. Lady Macbeth getting knocked to the infield as well as Reckless Rose. Lady Macbeth working her way to the front of the pack. Rose gets out on the high side, though. Took that star off like she was going to pass it, but she kept it and took off.
Walker over there assisting the Brutal Beauties jammer on the bench. Helped her get over to the bench there, so be attending to her now. Heading up to jam now for the Beauties is going to be Hitori Hanzo.
That's Bones back out there for the Coffin Draggers.
Both jammers still fighting to get through the pack. Bones now up to the front of the pack, dealing with those last two blockers. Gets them out of play and is able to get around the inside now. Bones now catching up to the pack and is trying to find her way through. There's a 2-wall at the front there. A good defensive block there. Sliding block knocking Bones off to the infield. But blocker off the track as well. So Bones gets up and is able to get the processed on through as the jam comes to a close. All right, setting up the jam now for the Coffin Draggers is Tyranny.
It's Princess Leia out there. Captain of the Beauties out there to skate this jam. Tyranny working her way to the front of the pack. Takes the low road to get out. Princess Leia still struggling behind a 3-wall of draggers. Gets away to the front of the pack, but taken off the track by Zombaby. Gets out right as Tyranny starts her scoring run.
Four more points on the board there for the Coffin Draggers, and they're going to have the Destroyer up on the jammer line now.
The Destroyer. Evil Twin out there to jam for the Beauties. Beauties have a thin pack, they're down 2 blockers. Destroyer able to get right out. Although Evil Twin chases her out, they're both out.
And the Destroyer spun through the pack, able to complete that scoring pass, calls it off. 4 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers once again. They're going to have Victoria Van Gore on the jammer line now.
That's Slaughtermelon taking the jammer line for the Beauties. That's her first time jamming this evening. Slaughtermelon knocked off the track by Zombaby as Victoria Van Gore charges to the front of the pack and gets out.
Slaughtermelon fighting her way through the pack. Victoria Van Gore finishing off a scoring pass and calls it off.
Anita Margarita out there to skate for the Beauties.
For the Coffin Draggers, that's Bones.
Both jammers working their way through the pack. Bones gets out, though, in turn 2. Anita Margarita chasing right behind her, though. And Bones calls it off right as she gets to the back of the pack. Anita Margarita was coming up fast. Princess Leia coming to the jammer line for the Beauties.
Your jammer for the Coffin Draggers, Hellatrix Lestrange. Ready to go as a small piece of apparatus was taken off the track there, and we're ready to get the jam underway. And there goes Strange up to the corner. Hellatrix Lestrange, your lead jammer for the Coffin Draggers, but getting out as well for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Princess Leia. Strange up to the track, blasting through the pack, tumbling through the track, that is, finishing off the scoring pass. 4 more points for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers are going to send the Destroyer to the jammer line now.
Hattori Hanzo out there for the Beauties. Beauty skating down one blocker.
Tightly bunched pack now makes their way down through the first turn and up into the back straightaway. Fighting her way to the front of the pack and taking over his jammer for the Coffin Draggers is going to be Devil's Advocate. Hattori Hanzo now is going to try to put on the pressure. Devil's Advocate going to try to get back to the pack. Racing along the inside, now up to the high side and calling it off, but surrendered some points on the back end of the pack there. We'll have to double check the score.
Beauty's picking up 2 points on that jam. Scrapper's picking up 4.
Up to the jammer line now for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Slaughtermelon.
Embezzlement coming to the line for the first time tonight for the Draggers.
Number 18, Embezzlement, in her first bout. Now performing her first jam for the Coffin Draggers, and Embezzlement to the front of the pack, and M is your lead jammer.
And completes a successful scoring pass, gets out, going for a seconds. Embezzlement tries the low road, gets knocked to the infield.
Ends up to be 10 points on the board for the Coffin Draggers there when it's all said and done during the jam. It looks like we're going to have a double jammer down situation, so penalties on both jammers during that previous jam means nobody gets a power jam. It's going to be Bones for the Coffin Draggers.
That's Gypsy Danger out there for the Beauties. Bones sees daylight on the high side, gets straight out directly.
Gypsy Danger looking for an opening, trying to get along the inside and able to do so. Gypsy Danger running to the front of the pack. Bones now catching up, looking for an opening along the outside and gets run up into the rail by that pivot for the Brutal Beauties. Spun down onto the infield, goes Bones, gets back up on the track to call it off. That's going to take us up to our final quarter break of the evening. 3 more points on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Your score right now, Coffin Draggers 164, Brutal Beauties 52. Stay tuned there, Derby fans. We are going to be giving away our final raffle prize of the evening. It's that wonderful, wonderful $300 Lost Dutchman Tattoo gift card, and we're going to be giving that away here right directly, so stay tuned for that.
Lost Dutchman Tattoo is a local tattoo shop specializing in various styles, from realism to traditional. And customized tattoo designs walk-ins are welcome. They're located at 4121 North 19th Avenue, the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road.
She just threw like a fistful of tickets in there, so somebody had the idea to just pump it full before Two of them? Okay. All right, we've got two prizes to give away. So these two tickets, you're going to have to come over here and find out who won which prize. So here's the two winning tickets, number 785830 and 785626. 785830, 785626. That's the two winning tickets. I guess somebody is the lucky winner of the tattoo gift.
Oh my God!
Yes. So she'll leave these here momentarily.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go get a root beer out of my car. I got some heartburn.
All right, we're getting back to the action now, beginning the fourth quarter with a Brutal Beauties Power Jam. Yes, indeed. We hear from the Brutal Beauties fans in the audience. Starting things off, it's Princess Leia on the jammer line for the Beauties. So the Coffin Draggers picking up a whole bevy of penalties there in the previous jam, including penalties on 2 blockers and their jammer.
Tierney and Zombaby out there trying to keep the pace high and keep that jammer contained. They are racing around the track at full speed, trying to make Princess Leia skate as much of the track as possible. If you can't contain the jammer, outrun her. And even with all that, Princess Leia still able to collect all 5 points of that jam.
On the jammer line now for the Beauties is going to be Hitori Hanzo.
And that's the Destroyer. Destroyer getting out first. She's your lead jammer. Gets out in turn 1.
Hitori Hanzo is in the middle of the pack, trying to find a way past some defenders there at the back of the pack now.
Destroyer trying to push those last 2 Beauties blockers out of the way. And she does. Gets out, calls off the jam.
Five points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Draggers send Victoria Van Gore to the jammer line.
Victoria Van Gore trying the high side. She gets right out along the rail. She's your lead jammer.
Anita Margarita out there for the Brutal Beauties, now out there to apply the pressure. She's just a quarter track behind and is keeping up pace now. And Gore blasting her way through the pack and calling it off. 4 more points on the board for the Coffin Draggers. Draggers send Bones to the jammer line.
It's Gypsy Danger coming to the line for the Beauties again. Bones racing ahead, trying the high side. Gypsy Danger knocked to the infield. Gypsy Danger, though, gets out. She's your lead jammer. Bones knocked to the infield by Evil Twin. Gypsy Danger sets up her scoring pass. Picks up that jammer point. Gets out, heads out for more. Hurricane May now has the jammer star in her hand. She gets out as the trailing jammer. And Gypsy Danger calling it off.
So 5 points for the Brutal Beauties. The Brutal Beauties now set up with Princess Leia on the jammer line.
And that's Bellatrix Lestrange. Go get him, Strange. Leia takes a knee in the middle of all that. Charging back to the front. Going up against Tierney, trying to get by her to get out. The pack passes him, knocked to the infield. Strange gets out as your lead jammer. Princess Leia doing battle with Reckless Rose and Zombaby. Gets by him, though. Strange skating through the 3 wall of Beauties at the back of the pack. Gets the points, calls off the jam.
4 points up on the board there for the Coffin Draggers. Coffin Draggers now are going to send Vava Doom to the jammer line. Not Vava Doom. Yeah, Vava just turned around and looked at me. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Laura Stabs is on the jammer line. Sorry, Vava. I was looking at Laura Stabs. Well, I was looking at Vava's name on the back of her jersey, and they have very similar numbers. That's my explanation. I'm sorry. It's just interesting when you say Vava Doom, and Vava turns around from the roughly near the pivot box and says,
"Not
what?"
I."
Incorrect. At any rate, it looks like we've got a challenge. It's going to be a challenge by the Brutal Beauties, so a stoppage in the action.
Hey folks, take a look at the Siphon Draw Apothecary Shop. Siphon Draw Apothecary features all natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. Visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town on historic Highway 88. Admire the scenery out there while you're there. I'm actually wearing some of their lip balm right now. Thanks, Dolly.
And it's almost time for Mac Madness. Next month, our regulators are hosting their annual macaroni cook-off competition. It'll be on March 28th, Saturday, March 28th, from 6 to 9 p.m. at O'Brien Sports Bar at 7829 North 35th Avenue in Phoenix. It's $10 to enter the cook-off, and all of that goes to a wonderful cause. You're not going to win because the announcers win these things. So that's just the way it goes. The announcers win the macaroni cook-off competition. I mean, we've only got one. I mean, but, you know, it's a small sample size.
I'll bring my broom. We can sweep again.
Right. That's the plan, I think.
Do you know what you're cooking? Are you going to repeat?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
I haven't decided if I'm just going to go with the same one again, like repeat, or if I do something different.
Haven't decided yet. Anyway, first prize, which you can aspire to maybe, is $50. And after review from the infield, penalty is upheld.
But come on out, folks. Seriously, the mac and cheese thing, it's hilarious. It's awesome.
Really
There's drink
fun.
specials,
Really fun.
mac and cheese.
We'd love nothing more than to lose to worthy competitors.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you make a better mac and cheese than I make it, I want to try it.
Right.
That sounds good.
All right.
Now I want mac and cheese.
After review, again, penalty upheld, so it's going to be a power jam for the Coffin Draggers. Laura Stabs on the jammer line for the Coffin Draggers, and up to the pack quickly she goes.
Stabs working her way around the back of the pack. It takes the high line. She gets out. Coffin Draggers trying to slow that pack down as much as they can. Laura Stabs knock off the track. Quiver Phoenix, I believe. Laura Stabs setting up her next scoring pass. Beauties have a 4-wall now at the front of the pack, and Stabs looks at them and calls that off.
So 5 points up on the board there for the Coffin Draggers during the power jam.
Both teams down a blocker on this next jam.
All right, that's going to be embezzlement for the Coffin Draggers on the jammer line.
It's Anita Margarita out there. She gets lead jammer, though. She's out first.
Anita Margarita now racing her way through the pack. Embezzlement out the front of the pack for the Coffin Draggers. Anita Margarita checking on the distance there and goes ahead and calls it off.
Zora LaBruja coming to the line for the first time tonight.
And jamming for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Hitori Hanzo.
Zora gets out as your lead jammer. Making her scoring pass now.
Hitori Hanzo still at the back of the pack. Again I do it. Laura Stabs escorting her off the track there. Zora LaBruja with 15 seconds left on the jam clock now coming around for another scoring pass. Pack not making a whole lot of progress. And that'll bring an end to that jam. We got 8 points on the board there for the Coffin Draggers as they are getting up towards 200 for the bout. Coffin Draggers are going to send Helatrix Lestrange to the jammer line. It's going to be Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties.
Slaya gets a head start and runs along the top side of the track. Strange gets out on the low, though. Slaya eyeballing the pack, trying to call it off as she gets to the back of the pack, but she collects, I think, all of her points. 3.
All right. 3 points up on the board for the Brutal Beauties there, and they call a team timeout, so they're going to talk over a little bit of strategy now, and brings a brief stoppage to the action here with 5:22 to go in regulation. We'll let you know about this one more time, Derby fans. Be sure to sign up and join Team Arizona Derby Dames for some St. Patrick's Day fun on March 13th. You can help raise money to fight cancer at the Kilt Lifter 10th Anniversary Kilt Run. This event is lots of fun for all ages, and pets are welcome. For full details and more information, you can go to www.irishrunaz.com and sign up for the 1K Kilt Run or take the challenge. Sign up now. When you do, don't forget to join Team Arizona Derby Dames.
Coffin Dragger sending the Destroyer back to the line.
And coming up to the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Evil Twin.
I'm assuming Devil's Advocate has the star, or she's just skating away for no reason. Nevertheless, she's wearing it now, so she's your jammer. Evil Twin working her way through the front of the pack there. Devil's Advocate completes her scoring pass.
Big block there in the front straightaway sends Devil's Advocate spiraling off onto the infield. Now back up to reestablish herself and trying to fight her way through. And with Evil Twin coming around, Devil's Advocate calls off the jam. Stepping up to the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Anita Margarita.
That's the Panda Face Killer out there.
Look out, everybody. We've got a Panda Jam.
Panda Jam.
Panda Jam.
Pandemonium. But Anita Margarita gets out first. She's your lead jammer.
Your lead jammer here as
That's
we're
right.
going on for no reason whatsoever. Panda out of the pack as well now for the Coffin Draggers. Anita Margarita, your lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties.
Zombaby and Reckless Rose trying to control the pace out there. Keep Anita Margarita out of the way.
And we've got a lead change. Anita Margarita was off on the infield, and Panda zipping by. Panda Face Killer, now your lead jammer for the Coffin Draggers.
Reckless Rose holding Anita Margarita, introducing her to the rail at least 3 times.
All right, Coffin Draggers are going to use their second half challenge here.
Captain Panda picking up 9 points in that jam. Anita Margarita picking up 3 on that one.
Hey, don't forget the official after party location is Paz Cantina. Come join us after tonight's bout for live music, games, food, and drinks. Present your wristband for a 20% discount on your tab. Paz Cantina is on 3rd Street in Roosevelt. Head over to hang, eat, and drink with the dames. All right, after review, penalty is upheld is the final ruling. So, unsuccessful challenge. Coffin Draggers lose their second half challenge. Coffin Draggers put 9 points up on the board there, pushing them up over 200 for the bout. So 205 to 77 your score at the moment. So after the challenge, it's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Heading up to the jammer line for the Beauties now is going to be Quiver Phoenix is up to the jammer line for the first time for the Brutal Beauties in this bout.
Quiver Phoenix pushing up against Tyranny and Zombaby out there. Her teammates trying to assist her, trying to help her get out.
And Quiver Phoenix doing battle at the front of the pack and gets those defenders pushed out of play.
Slaughtermelon up front assisting her jammer, trying to help her get out. Trying to break up that 2-wall of Devil's Advocate and Tyranny.
Five points on the board there for the Brutal Beauties. Beauties now sending Princess Leia to the jammer line.
That's Victoria Van Gore back out there for the Coffin Draggers. Princess Leia and Victoria Van Gore both trying to occupy the same spot on the track. Princess Leia able to get out though. She's able to get to your lead jammer.
Zero, zero there, and stepping up to the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Slaughtermelon. It's going to be Bones for the Coffin Draggers.
Bones charging to the front. Only Evil Twin keeping her back, but she gets out.
Got 13 seconds left on the quarter clock here, 40 seconds on the jam clock, so this could be the last jam of the regulation period as it is shaping up now. Bones threading her way through the pack on a scoring pass and looking for some more. Clock has expired on the quarter, so that'll do it for game action at the end of this jam. Penalty jams pending. Bones finishing another scoring pass and goes ahead and calls off the last few seconds of the jam clock. We'll check in with the infield, get the final scores in here, and find out if there will be any penalty jams. 10 points up on the board for the Coffin Draggers. And we do indeed have penalty jam. So we will set up, we had penalties on the team that is ahead and none on the team that is behind. So we continue. Penalty jam will be set up with Anita Margarita for the Brutal Beauties.
That's Bellatrix Lestrange out there for the Coffin Draggers. Strange trying to get by the captain of the Brutal Beauties out there. That's Leia, yeah. But Anita Margarita gets out as your lead jammer.
Bellatrix Lestrange out of the pack now as well for the Coffin Draggers. Anita Margarita catches up to the pack, sliding off to the infield and calls it off. So we will check again on the penalty jam situation and find out if that is going to repeat itself. All right, it looks like we're all set and heading out to make the official signal. With that signal, it is official. Your final score, Coffin Draggers 215, Brutal Beauties 85. All right, Derby fans, don't forget to join us here at our next bout. It is Saturday, March 21st. Saturday, March 21st, 6 p.m. final jockeying for position for the playoffs will be determined beforehand, and we will see who is going to be going to the playoffs at that point. Runaway Brides facing the Schoolyard Scrappers, Doomsday Valkyries facing the Coffin Draggers. That's our next bout, Saturday, March 21st. It has been a pleasure to announce these bouts for you this evening. I have been Old Greg.
I'm Kills Bill.
Don't forget, if you have had too much to drink tonight, don't drive. That's a choice you can make, and don't make it. If you need a lift somewhere, I can give you a ride because Freya's going to the after party, and I'm going home to eat eggplant parmesan. Good night.